Alright, this is a quick video, well, not really a quick video, but a video about explaining the difference, I guess, the difference between specifiers and non-specifiers, right? And the example I want to put out here is unsa, right? Unsa. So, this is just a little note about specifiers because I see this mistake being made not quite often, but from time to time, this mistake is being made. And this mistake goes out to some of the native speakers. Well, I guess not some, but most of the native speakers, because they can't differentiate what's between what, right? So here we go. On this first case, we have unsa ang oras, and then the optional enclitic particle na, right? Unsa ang oras na. What time is it? Unsa ang oras na, yeah? Sometimes you can even put other enclitic particles and trigger words and words that help give information to the sentence. Unsa ang oras karon? What is the time today or now? What is the time now or what is the time today? And those are just enclitic words and trigger words that help give information to our sentence to help understand or to help us understand as listeners the message that's being conveyed. Right? Well, with this first sentence, we have unsa and ang. We can already contract these two because unsa is one of those words in Cebuano actually that can take ang as an irregular affix, right? And when we affixate ang, it changes to an e, okay, an e. So we get unsay, right? Unsay oras na. Right? And this is very, very basic. You already know this. Unsay oras na, right? So that ang changes to an e. Unsay oras. If I just say unsay oras or unsa ang oras, right? Unsa ang oras or unsay oras, it just means what time. What time? Just basically what time. It's non-specific and it's not detailed, right? It doesn't give me any clues. It just has the plain meaning of what time, right? What time? That's why we have these enclitic particles and trigger words that help us give more clues and more information. So if we just say what time now or today or now, unsay oras na, unsay oras karon, unsay oras na karon, what time is it now? What time is it today now? Then we know, oh, okay, at it's the specific time. What time is it? It's just asking for the time. It's not asking for anything but just time in general. Moving down here, though, things change a little bit. Our sentence now is unsa nga orasa na, or unsa nga orasa karon. Again, same thing with the enclitic particles and the adverbs and the trigger words, stuff like that, right? It's just all the same. It just helps us give information or more information, right? Because on that first top right here, they gave us more clarifying information to help understand what the message was, right? Because this is just a general sentence of what time. But here on the second one, when we have this nga instead of an ang, this is showing specificity, right? Specificity. It's more specific now. It's showing something more specified. Unsa nga orasa, right? Unsa nga orasa. What specific time? Well, before we talk about specificity, let's check about the grammatical construction of this. We know that unsa is also unsa again is that word that can take things to contract with it, right? It can take words to contract. So nga is one of those words that can contract with words if it's being contracted with, and it changes to either a nga or the ga, right? The nga or a ga. So in this case, since unsa ends in a vowel, we need to take the consonant form. So nga, right? Unsang, it becomes. Unsa nga changes to unsang, right? And because nga here is a function of a specifier, right? As a specifier in terms of a specific time, a specific hour, a specific piece of information, we need to have the a specifier to the noun that it's modifying. And what is it modifying, or what is it specifying? It's specifying the time, the hour, right? So we change it to an a, or not change it to an a. We have to add an a as an affixate, right? Oras, orasa, right? Unsa nga orasa, or unsang orasa, as we have it. That nga makes it so that this is being specified. This noun is being modified by a specifier. And what's that specifier? It's this nga, which specific or hour, right? So that's why we have to have a at the end. Unsang orasa, and this goes with the other. This goes with other nouns too that you specify with nga, right? Like kanang libro ha, kining balaya. You have all these ah and ha at the end of it to make it so that it's a specified object. And again, like you have your enclitic particles and trigger words to help you again, right? So, but that's not the point. The point is unsang orasa, or unsang orasa na, or unsang orasa karon, is asking for a specific time. What time in specific versus what time. Unsay oras, meaning what time, versus unsang orasa, what specific time. Like maybe it's at the hour of 3, maybe at the hour of 4, maybe at the hour of 6, maybe at 2:15, 2:30, half past, quarter till. It's asking for a very specific time. Whereas this unsay oras is just asking, hey, what time is it? Yo, what time is it? Casually. So that's the difference, right? This up here one, unsay oras na, by unsay oras na. Oh yeah, it's just asking for, hey, what time is it now? Casually, just asking because I don't really know. I'm just asking for the time in general. What time is it? Whereas this one down here, unsang orasa, is asking for, oh, well, which specific time do you want to meet? What specific time do you plan? Or how it's asking for a specific hour, right? So that's one thing you need to keep in mind, is that specificity changes the meaning. And if we're going to be having specificity in the meaning, we have to change the grammar in a little bit. Now here's where the mistakes are being made, and this is where I see it, especially with the native speakers. Ang is not the same as nga when you're going to contract words, all right? And this is what I see a lot when people contract words. They think that unsa, ang, when it gets contracted into unsang, which is wrong. Okay, that's unsang is unsa nga, not unsa ang, because unsa ang is unsay, as we showed up here, unsay, right? And again, you should already know that unsa ang is unsay, unsa nga is unsang. However, when people don't want to contract, they say unsa ang oras. When they say this really fast, it does sound like unsang, right? Unsang oras. But that's actually kind of like wrong speech. It's better to say unsay oras, right? The I differentiates that nga sound. The E changes that differentiates the meaning with that ng sound, and that's why. And another thing you can also differentiate is that this unsay, this oras here isn't modified, whereas the oras sound here is modified with an a. All right. So this ang doesn't equal, or isn't the same in contracted form with the nga, and the nga can either be contracted with a nga or a ga, right? The letter nga or the letter ga, and the letters depend on whether the vowel, or whether the noun being modified ends in a vowel or a consonant. So this is just something I really, really want to point out, because this mistake gets made once in a while.